Okay, number 30. A particle moves along the x-axis so that at any time t greater than 0, its velocity is given by. So they give you a velocity at t equals 1, the particle position is 6. Write an expression for the acceleration. All right. So acceleration, I don't like that. I need a skinnier one. A of t is equal to v prime of t. So let's take the derivative of v of t. So the derivative of t is 1 times ln t. So ln t plus, doing product rule, t over t, so plus 1, minus 1, because I took the derivative of the t now. So you get ln t. So a of t equals ln t. So part A. For what values of t is the particle moving to the right? So that's when the velocity is greater than 0. So we have to just take that velocity function and set it greater than 0. So we would say t ln t minus t is greater than 0. So ln t is greater than t. So ln t is greater than 1. So that would e to the 1 is e to the 1 is I guess I shouldn't use the greater. I should just put it in there because we're going to get confused with that. So going back, it's not a big deal. Just say equals 0. Didn't mean to mess up. So t ln t equals t ln t equals 1. So e to the 1 equals t. So t equals e. Now, if you're doing a sign chart then of e, okay, so 0 is before e. So ln, or let's do 1. 1 is before e. So sorry, let's do it down here. So let's do it down here. E. So we said t was e. Let's fix that. So t is e. So, okay, now, let's try 1. So that would be 1 times ln of 1, which you know is 0, minus 1. So 0 minus 1 is negative 1, so it's negative. And then let's try 10. You would have 10 ln of 10 minus 10. So you know it's going to be bigger than itself. So this is positive. So it's moving to the right for t greater than e. Just to double check. So there was your first answer. There's your second answer. What's the minimum velocity of the particle? Show the analysis that leads to your conclusion. Okay, minimum velocity, we just take the velocity and set it equal to 0. See what you get, and then put in what you got for your answer, right? So we already did that. We got E. Okay, no. It asked for the minimum of the velocity. So it didn't ask for the minimum of the position. So it wants the minimum of the velocity, which means I have to take the acceleration, tricky, and set that equal to 0 and find out what the y is when that's equal to 0. So boom, I have ln t. So I have the acceleration, so a of t equals 0 of what I'm doing. So ln t equals 0. So e to the 0 equals t, so t equals 1. So when t equals 1, what does v of t equal? So we would have to go back up here and say 1 times, this is v of 1, so we're substituting in 1 times ln of 1 minus 1. Well, this is 0 minus 1, so you get negative 1. So the minimum velocity is negative 1, and that's it. All right, so that was your test.